Hello, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your lunch break. My name is Oguzhan Gencoglu, Head of AI at Top Data Science. As mentioned, I'm leading about 15 AI scientists. We are good at solving problems with machine learning. Our customers are good at having problems, so it's usually a good match. And today I'll be talking about where does MyData paradigm locate and manifest in this whole ... AI wave, meaning ethical AI, reproducible AI, unbiased AI, transparent and explainable AI, accountable AI, and such. Of course, there's no time to dive into deeply into all these topics, but I will basically express some of my own observations and opinions, and I would love to hear yours as well. So my outline will be overview, which I kind of made. I will be talking about ethical AI, a couple of examples of privacy-preserving AI and how my data and personal data is related to that, explainable and transparent AI, and accountable AI. Okay, so ethical AI. I can actually give credit to the community of machine learning and AI research from the MyData perspective, because the ethical AI discussions have been very much driven by personal data and personal consent issues. You are probably familiar with deepfakes. If not, basically nowadays the technology has evolved so that you can make anyone reliably fast, reliably, unpredictably make or talk or make any kind of sound or create a video. So basically, you can create totally fake videos of people, videos of scenes, images of scenes, even fake speech. So this technology driven by machine learning and deep learning has, of course, significant impact, good or bad. But the discussions have been arising mostly from the privacy perspective, right? So from my data perspective, how does this technology affect me as an individual who has all kinds of digital footprint in all kinds of industries and services, like banking and social media and whatnot? So MyData, I would say, MyData paradigm is pretty much in line with ethical AI discussions. Obviously, there's lots to go. So a quick poll from me would be that I would like to know your opinion on, do discussions around AI ethics hinder innovation? So please go to screen.io. It's a yes or no poll. What I'm not asking is, should we discuss AI ethics? I'm simply objectively asking, do these discussions hinder actually innovation? So your answer can simply be, yes, of course it does, and I'm okay with that. So that's something I've been looking for. So, quite some online people, 40 people, and increasing. This is some kind of race now. So about half, huh? Maybe a couple of more people think, yes, it actually hinders innovation. I'm not asking again, should we do it? This is maybe some kind of fuel for further discussion, yeah? All right, let's move on to explainable and transparent AI. I have to give credit again when it's due. So explainable AI models and transparent and unbiased interpretable AI models have been quite hot topic in AI research, simply because obviously machine learning models are trained on our data and give predictions based on our data. For example, if you apply for a bank loan and if you are rejected, you have the right to ask why I was rejected. And basically the banks, if they are using inexplainable black box AI models, they are basically in trouble nowadays, right? So we can say that this personal data and the services around it is a fuel for this kind of research or this kind of discussions. Obviously, again, there's a lot to go, and there are a lot of edge cases, loopholes, problematic cases. Privacy-preserving AI. This is obviously like self-explanatory that privacy should be actually preserved. It's a demand from individuals from a MyData perspective in these AI algorithms and services and products. So recent advancements, I can explain a couple of, for example, federated learning. Typically, you have your data in your smartphones, some data from factories, from sensors, or some patient records. Typically, you collect all this data in centralized databases and build a machine learning model on top of that. But in federated learning, which is a quite hot topic nowadays in AI research, you actually, this one obviously doesn't preserve privacy. Our data is sent to a centralized database. In federated learning, instead of sending our data, we build machine learning models on the device, meaning in our phones, and the machine learning models are shared to the centralized database, which is just a bunch of numbers, so our privacy is preserved. Pretty cool stuff, I would say. Similarly, AI on encrypted data. So nowadays, there has been quite some research on what if I, instead of sending my data to a service, to a company, to an institution, let's say my brain MR scan, to use their machine learning algorithm or service, what if I send my encrypted data to them? This is nowadays possible. You encrypt your data, called homomorphic encryption. You send encrypted data, which is a bunch of numbers, meaningless to a human, and you get a prediction in an encrypted format, and you can get the prediction and decrypt in your own site, so the whole privacy is preserved. So basically, these kind of innovations in privacy-preserving AI, I would say, are quite in line with MyData perspective. I can't say the same for accountable AI. There are several reasons for this, but for example, when self-driving Uber vehicle unfortunately killed a pedestrian, the accountability issue was quite basically heated up, simply because it's pretty difficult to define accountability in this current sphere. And I can say that my data and personal data and accountable AI issues, there's a huge gap in between, and there's a long way to go. It's very difficult to correctly define these things from the MyData perspective. So from all these things, there's lots of challenges. There's a lot of actually room to improve, but I have seen some patterns about these problems and challenges. So obviously we know the key aspect of science is to elegantly explain complex models and complex systems to reduce confusion and understanding, increase understanding. But this may lead to a reductionist thinking. So this is a bit of self-criticism for AI people, that we try to reduce these things into accuracy and try to maximize it in terms of machine learning modeling. However, it's much more complex than that. And obviously, we can't deny the financial success of AI. So it's this kind of groupthink in the whole AI research kind of creates a positive feedback of, hey, it's working greatly, it's detecting cancer, we are making money, what's the problem? Well, it's more complex than that, right? And obviously, we have seen in many cases that this kind of design, this kind of thinking in design favors this move fast and break things kind of paradigm, basically prioritizes market-driven incentives instead of human well-being. We have seen this in healthcare before. And the notion of we exist purely, solely for the sake of progress and like exponential growth, it's, I would say, at least naive, given a finite resources planet, but pretty much madness in a way. So these concepts are very much in line with our current discussion of ethical AI and other ... AI concepts from the MyData perspective. And have you realized we have been trying to solve our biggest problems like climate change, obesity, mass terrorism, such problems with more resources and greater control. But technically, actually, these problems are actually often the results of tools used to solve previous problems belonging to complex systems. So we have been trying to automate things with industrial systems, put more resources, then these problems arise. And I want to say a couple of last sentences that I believe killer robots are not the only thing we should be discussing, but our lack of willingness to analyze and define and live to the values actually we want society to have today. So we are not there yet, right? This creates a huge, huge confusion and all kinds of mistakes we have been making actually. And we need to make those ... AI concepts a core value in designing tech. Thank you very much.
Oguzhan. Thank you.